Pat's got the button. Pat hits that go live and he says, hey, we got another episode of Cardboard Conversation. So thank you everybody for joining. I'm Pat, joined by the phenomenal Monsieur Bob.
Yo, what's up, peoples?
Hey, and we got a good crew here already. We got Time Capsule and Richie joining us. So thank you everybody for popping in this evening. We really do appreciate that. Yeah, so Bob and I were just talking behind the scenes. The big talk of the town, as it were. Final Fantasy. Yeah,
pre-orders. Is that what we're going to lead with? We're not going to lead with the why Matt's not here tonight?
I mean, it might as well. You're right. Let's put him on the back burner. In just a few minutes, we'll be covering our main topic.
We'll tease the Final Fantasy, but because that's definitely the big news of the week. But in other news,
I mean, half the time we start the show with just you and I, anyways, and then he pops in. But don't expect that tonight, guys.
Right. I was going to point that out. Like, let's just get it out of the way now. So I guess he wouldn't mind us saying, but last minute looks like Matt needed to fill a spot for a dropout that was going to Chicago Con. So hopefully next week, if you tune in, Matt's going to have some information for you that was firsthand. Was last minute. He's there today. I'm not sure how much he got to get on the game floor, so to speak, but we don't even have information from him yet ourselves. So
and one of the hardest parts for him is it's his sleep schedule. He's normally up all night long and sleeps during the daytime. So right now at the height of all the convention is when he's trying to be, tucked to sleep in bed. So he's definitely having a time. A little bit that we chatted, he seems like he's having fun.
Well, I mean, it's always fun to go do stuff, in my opinion. So it's nice that he was able to. It's nice to have a job where you can say, hey, I'm going to take some time off and go to a convention. So, yeah, not quite Final Fantasy.
Right. Not so Final Fantasy.
But, I mean, I guess we'll get into it. It's the background here in the thumbnail that you saw, maybe, if you were paying any attention. If you've been living under a rock, Final Fantasy had spoilers this week. Not like we didn't know it was coming. Oh, whoa. Hey, Richie McDubbs, my bud.
Look at you.
But
you know what happens when you become a member is you unlock, of course, all the cool emotes and all that fun stuff. But you also get 4 extra shows every single month. That's right. After we do our live stream here, we do some members stuff. And tonight, as a special part of that, we're actually doing a box opening. I've got an entire sealed box, a call time we're opening up tonight. And that's going to be on the members only live stream. So if you want to be like Richie, a cool cat like Time Capsule, put 99 cents per month down and you unlock a whole bunch of extra free content.
Yeah, I mean, we're not just cracking it though.
Oh no, it's going to be deck building. Correct. Now, see here on the channel, we had a cooperative effort with a bunch of fine folks over on our Discord server that we started specifically for a project called Commander Raids. Now we're going to be opening up an entire sealed box, and I'm going to use all those cards to make a deck. Now we're all taking a turn at this.
Not all the cards. You're not building a 400 card deck.
Using all the cards from the deck will be from this box.
Correct.
Plus some lands. The typical
there's just 3 staples we're throwing in there: the Command Tower, the Arcane Signet, and of course, to my objection, Soul Ring. But it's just to try to make the decks a little more playable. It's one thing to be kitschy and build a whole deck out of a box, but they need to be functional, at least playable. And I don't was the Pauper. The Piper, was he shot down? I'm not sure.
Yeah, we went with no Piper.
Okay. So my vote was no Soul Ring, yes Prismatic Piper, so you can make the deck more playable in colors you want.
So that's going to be something that each of us takes a turn at. And one of Matt's very close friend and pod mate, Nate, is actually going to be participating with not just the box opening, but the play as well. So we give a week after the video goes up for members only, and then we're going to be putting those up to the public. And it kind of shows that we've got a little bit of skin in the game as far as Magic the Gathering goes. And we want to let people know that Commander Raids is still alive and thriving. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and slowly get the Discord link up.
Yeah. So also, you might want to put up the channel membership too, if they want to catch the crack packing, the pack cracking fun.
Pack cracking. The crack packing.
After the show, we'll put up the link here shortly if you want to become a member, just like Richie Dubs, my buds, just did today. So please give us your support if you like what we're doing. Also consider, if you haven't, and it'd be weird to not subscribe, but I don't know if you can become a member if you're not subscribed. I don't know how that works, but if you're watching this afterwards, please consider giving us a like and a subscribe. Share it with your friends. Hit that bell icon notification so you know when we are live, because I think we're going to end up having more live shows as we progress. We're growing slowly but surely, and there's lots of content that we want to share with you fine folks out there. Speaking of
surprisingly enough, last week I was live for almost 7 hours playing Stardew Valley. Jeez Louise.
We cover a broad, as punishing as YouTube is to us for doing it, we're doing it anyways.
Right. Yeah,
YouTube really punishes you for not staying in your lane, right?
Yeah.
They will not push your content out to people if it's outside of what you said you talk about. How dare you? But crack packing, you betcha. We do that too.
It's funny, Bob, you mentioned that, because like the variety show that we bring to the channel, as bad as it is for the YouTube algorithm, it's great for us as creators because it keeps us more interested in making content.
Sure. It also gives us an avenue when there's just not much going on, and I'm going to tell you right now. Part of what we're going to talk about. So some of the things we're going to talk about tonight, I'll just go down a quick list here. We are going to talk about Final Fantasy, but I'm sure that most of you are already aware. You've already seen much of the release information. Pat, if you can go ahead and start researching and getting the cards that were spoiled, we'll cover those real quick. There aren't very many. We'll just go over the few that there are.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of them are kind of meme worthy. In case you haven't seen it, we're going to cover it now. I don't know what that means, Richie, but I'm sure Pat is all over that. But they've revealed a few cards before they revealed any cards for Tarkir at Chicago Con, which we're also going to cover some of that tonight as well. Some of the things that they shared with us at Chicago Con. But we'll go over what we see out there first with the spoilers and the packaging information that they have. Magic had a very short video this week. Wow, that's what you came up with for the first one. Spoilers. Why don't we go to the commanders first?
Hey, it's at the top of the page. It's the newest ones. What do you?
Okay, I'm digging some of these. That's kind of dope. I saw this, but if you notice, I don't know if you can zoom in on that, because there are others as well. If you go to TCG Player, and just look at Final Fantasy real quick, there were some that I didn't see spoiled. Right, so clearly they're out there somewhere, but I don't know where they are. That's a big meme card there.
The Jumbo Cactuar.
Yeah, it gets 9999.
Yeah, a 10,000
9,999 power. But dies to everything. No haste. No trample. No flying. No protection. Just a big beefy cactus. There's a number of cards that they spoiled here. You're looking at alternate. So this is what was cool. Like you can see it there behind the guy. It says what video game franchise it came from in Roman numerals. Right. So
it's also on the bottom of the card too.
It is on the bottom of the card, but I think it's kind of neat that it for the first time I like the plain background, because it makes the number kind of pop that the character came from. So I'm kind of about I like the bowling shirt ones too, that were like the Praetors, the bowling shirt Praetors from whatever that was. What set was that in? Was that Mom? Maybe March of the
Yeah,
Machine.
it might be either that
I
or
think these are the front facing. I don't know if you would call them commanders, but they're the front facing card on the starter decks, which is going for $20. Talked about that a bit on DJ's show last night. So it looks like that's going to be it from now on, folks. Starter decks are going to come from the premium sets that year, and that price is going to settle in around $20 for release. But we're going to cover some of that in more depth as well a little later. So here are the commander deck commanders. You got Cloud, you got Terra. I'm not going to go into what they do. That's not really what we're here for tonight. You can research that.
I think this one's funny though. Cloud X Soldier is still a soldier.
Well, he's also an ex-soldier.
I guess that is true. He is both a soldier and an ex-soldier. He has done both of those things.
But he's very iconic for Final Fantasy VII. I didn't play Final Fantasy VI, and as I understand it, they only had pixel art for the one on the right there, the Terra. So I'm not familiar with Final Fantasy VI, but that she's representing Final Fantasy VI. And from what Jake and Joel announced, I don't know where they got the information, but the decks are themed around the video game. So all of the cards in each of these decks will be themed around characters from their respective IPs individually, not just Final Fantasy. But in the Cloud deck, it will be themed around Final Fantasy VII. In the Terra deck, it'll be themed around Final Fantasy VI, and so on. So there's two more. There's four commander decks. And here are the other two. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Titus. Well, the guy that announced it said Titus. So
yeah, but they've also said shit like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So
I don't know. I never played. It was at Final Fantasy X. Is that what he's from?
What's weird is that guy looks like he's from those
Welcome.
third-person action role-playing games that Disney and like Pixar put out, where the kid had like a gigantic key. I don't know why my mind's blanking on it, but I never played those either. It's probably because he's
the last one there is from Final Fantasy 14, which is the MMO, which Miss Sherry Vegas is very big into, and she was telling me all about Ishtala, and I'm probably butchering the name, and I don't really care. But I actually plan to build a Commander Raids deck around it because you draw cards whenever any player takes 4 or more damage in a turn. So every time one of the Commander Raids players damages the boss, I get to draw cards. So I'm kind of about that.
And it's a nice little color pie as well.
I do like Esper. I am an Esper fan. But
I'm gonna say the cat ears definitely do something for her. Good looking card.
Yeah, and I hear from what she tells me, they are a little upset about that. And I wonder if these are going to be like in the commander decks, but there's other versions as well. So I don't know where all of these treatments are going to be available. I don't think that information is.
Oh, these will probably be in the collectors, right?
You got to imagine, but maybe there'll also be something in the play boosters because here's the other versions, right?
I gotta say, this looks pretty freaking great. Yeah, like this is great. Just artwork by itself. I'm a huge anime fan, and this looks phenomenal. If I could have 22-minute episodes starring this guy with the giant freaking sword, I'd be behind it.
Well, and this is what I said. Like he's got that 7 behind him. The other one's kind of washed out there for Terra, but she also has 6 behind her.
I'm definitely going to be leaning on the thing in the bottom there.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying I like it better than what was it, Commander Masters that just had a completely blank, just one solid color, and that was it. The profile cards or whatever they were. I'm not a fan of that.
I expect to open very little of this product. I do have a fair amount pre-ordered. We'll see if that actually falls through or not. But
I'm gonna engage with this product. I mean, I don't know what they can do to Lord of Rings this on me. And I don't want to call out TCG, dude. He did point out that, I'm a bigger fan of Lord of the Rings than Final Fantasy, but he's saying I didn't buy as much Lord of the Rings, and he's correct. But if you recall, Pat, I was planning to buy a shitload of it.
Yeah, it's availability.
Do you remember why I pulled out? Why I canceled my order?
No.
Yeah, their wokeness with the race swapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of pooped all over Lord of the Rings for me, and I'm like, hey,
what up, TCG dude?
So I voted with my wallet, so to speak, but I still did buy a reasonable chunk. I mean, I'm into it for over 1,000, I'm sure. But I'm going to be into Final Fantasy for a big chunk for sure. But let me see if I don't know if I have the I don't have the page up because I'm so good at this YouTube thing.
What is this? Oh my god!
I am not a fan of that. Those are going to be the special guest slots or guest artist slots, I think is what they're calling them. But I'm going to be looking at one of the second things. If you want to bring up the product line, I think even on the WotC site might have it. But there we go. You have it. Look at you. You're so good at this.
Some days.
What?
Yeah, I said some days. Yeah, some days are better at this than others. Every single it just shocks me how just currently unavailable.
Well, we're gonna get into that in just a second, but I wanted to cover what they have available or what is potentially available out there. So they have the starter deck. Obviously, this is going to be the starter deck pushed set of the year. I know we've got other Universes Beyond, and I'm going to get into that in a minute here. But the marquee set for sure is Final Fantasy this year. Make no mistake, they're pushing it harder than Spider-Man, harder than, spoiler alert, The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah,
but so it's going to be the starter deck this year.
I can pre-order Edge of Eternities now. I'm gonna have to stop sharing my screen so I can pre-order a bunch of Edge of Eternities before this goes to $500 fucking dollars.
I'm gonna pass on that one, but
no, I'm gonna put my pre-order in. I'm not gonna actually buy the product. This is Amazon, Bob.
But I mean, if you go back up to if you would please, the product lineup, because it's a little different. So you have your bundle, and then in the smaller text there, you have the gift bundle where you have the collector packs, but
single
collector pack, but those are obviously sold out. Like, the only things available right now on Amazon are the play boosters and the regular bundle. That's it.
And the starter kit.
All right. Well,
for whatever
I don't know. Sometimes it's been like down to 2 products. What do they have currently on there? It's touch and go. As to what is up there, I've seen like 1 or 2 of the commander decks pop up. But they sell out quickly.
Nothing's available except for play booster, the regular bundle, and the starter kit.
Okay, so they have all 3 of those right now.
Yeah. I was able to get a pre-order in for I think 6 gift bundles, and I want to say something else. I might have pre-ordered a box as well.
Yeah, I may cancel. I have a case of play boosters on order. I bought all 4 of the commander decks and 4 copies of the kitty cat one. I think she's one of the better commanders personally. I did not get the collector version of them. I didn't even see them. I was working when they dropped this on Amazon, and from what I understand, the collector boxes on Amazon sold out in 4 minutes. And I think it was very similar for the 4 set of the collector commander decks as well. So what you see there, the black commander decks are the regular version. And don't get too FOMO'd out, because I have a feeling they're going to reprint these just like
They
they did with
reprint the shit out of
Warhammer.
it. So that's one of the things about I listen to a lot of game store owners, and thankfully I do, because I'm not worried about this. Exactly like you're saying, Bob, is that they do constantly reprint these. It is confirmed that Warhammer 40K decks, along with the Fallout decks, all of them have had multiple reprint waves. The sealed decks, like what you're seeing on screen here. So don't get all worried and fearful that you will be unable to play with those cards, because they are going to be made over and over.
Now,
The
what you
collector
might
ones are very different story.
what you might have difficulty getting your hands on will be the gift bundles, the collector versions of the commander decks, the obviously the collector boxes.
Yeah.
You know, these are all going to be difficult to get your hands
on.
on.
A really high price.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of that, I think that's a perfect segue. I think we've covered all of them except for the pre-release kit, which I think is laughable. It's just a plain white and black box.
Hey, what up, Bill Brain?
It is so generic. It is painful. I don't know if they have it listed in the product.
No, they don't even have the pre-release here.
Where are you looking at? I can't see that. It's
Amazon.
Too tiny. Huh?
Amazon.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you go to the Magic site, but that's fine. It's just a plain white box with black lettering on it. I looked at it going, really?
That's and while like we're here, there are 2 more products I have not actually gotten to look at. I just in prep for the show, 5-10 minutes before we went live, I pulled up Amazon here, and it looks like they've also got Tarkir Dragonstorm up for pre-order as well. Collector boxes, bundles. Looks like 5 decks. Yeah, this is 5 decks, which is quite surprising because we've been told that they were doing 2 for a lot of them.
Well, it makes sense for Tarkir because it is a color pie. They're 3 color. It's a 3 color set. But we'll get into that in a little bit. I want to stick with Final Fantasy here and the hype around it and the FOMO and the craziness everywhere that you're trying to get stuff. So I reached out to my LGS contact and asked him, I prodded him for all kinds of information surrounding Final Fantasy. And part of that is when they're actually going to get their allocations. So it is available for them to start ordering now. Their orders are due by May 7th, which means that they'll get their allocations at the end of May. So anybody buying anything right now, you're buying fairy dust. You're buying faith.
Fugazi.
The person that you're giving money to, if you're giving them money. Speaking of which, Pat, I have pulled up some craziness that I saw already online. So if you look here, and we have MSRPs for these, so bear with it. But what you'll see here is these are actual sold listings. So just one deck, right? Sold today. One deck. Not even a real deck, folks. People don't have their hands on it. So you're trusting that whoever this eBay seller is actually going to get it.
Sales. Yeah.
And
so
eBay,
not like a store. Yeah.
eBay, unlike, Amazon, you have to give the money up front.
Yep.
So your money is already out and spent over there, and you got to trust that not only will he get the product, but if he doesn't, that he'll have the money to give back to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, these people out here, it's just absolutely bonkers.
Actually, I think you only have 60 days from the day of the sale to get a refund.
It's 6 months. It's 6 months.
6 months? Is that okay?
Yeah, but the products are not coming out for 4 months, right?
Yeah.
And then if he says, hey, there was a delay.
Well, and
realistically,
5 months, the MSRP of that is $69.99, right?
$69.99, and one sold today for $130. This is not one of the collector ones. Speaking of the collector ones, $800, right?
Yeah,
somebody you don't know that you're praying that they are actually going to get it, and if they don't,
how many sales does that person have? Is that 40?
Yeah,
and a 0% rating. Somebody just gave them
giving these people money. These are sold listings, folks. These are sold listings. That means people gave up their money for this. But what I want to point out. So this is just the most recent.
People
So
are
people are selling them as of today. And what are they selling? Fairy dust. It's
dust.
not real. They
the promise that
nobody
this
knows.
other person will buy it.
They don't know what the allocations are going to be, right? Even if these are stores, they don't know what their allocation is going to be. Even if it's a distributor, they don't know. So
people have gone crazy, Bob. This is one of the most aptly titled podcasts that we've actually done.
So I just want to show you the craziness that's going on out there.
$22.50.
It's 3 decks, right? But even still, somebody laid out $22.50 in the hopes that this person that's selling is actually going to get the product
for 3 boxes, for 3 collector boxes. That's just fucking nuts. That's over $700 a piece.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's not even 3 collector boxes, Pat. It's 3 maybe collector boxes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right. Yeah.
So somebody
it's the promise that they'll get you 3 collector boxes. Jesus.
I disagree, Coach, but we'll get into that. I love you, but I disagree with you. Look at the Commander decks, $1,200. Again, all these people. But look at how many people, many Timmies out there are dropping for $800.
Yeah, dog. That's what I'm saying, Richie. That's like $775, almost $800 per box.
And this isn't just hopeful pricing on eBay. This isn't people just putting up a listing.
These are sold.
On for, but the people don't even know if they're going to get them. So,
you know what, Bob? This makes me want to put up all those gift bundles that I pre-ordered. I should put all those up.
And if you don't get them,
you just have to cancel it. Give everybody their monies back.
Yeah, but there's fees associated with that.
Yeah. I'm just being a troll.
So at any rate, there were some in here, and I wanted to get to, I didn't see any on here because of the way that the prices are. Maybe if I list by lowest first. Some of the shit is so dumb, right? Like, let me see if I can get to it. Look at that. You can literally go on Amazon right now for $19.95 and get a starter kit. This fool paid $65 plus $9 delivery.
So people are just insane.
Somebody explain that to me. Is this like somebody buying from himself? Like
completely
charging
uninformed, maybe
over 3 times the amount? I'm baffled by this stuff, man. So don't get taken, folks. Be patient. If you miss out,
$180, Jesus.
And if you miss out, folks, it's not the end of the world.
Nope, it's a Magic the Gathering product release. Like it's cool. It's nice to have something you're a big fan of. But at the same time, don't be a fucking idiot.
I agree. I mean, and that's what I'm seeing here. Like I posted it to Pat right away. Like, look at this stupidity. And I know I saw some other listings. I don't know how they fell off or got canceled or whatnot. I think it was like $40 that somebody paid for these.
I had $70 right there for a collector pack.
Oh yeah, for one pack.
Listings.
Yeah. Oh, bro. There's stupidity all over this, right? It's got stupid coming out of its holes. Yeah. Look at these. Why would you pay $274 on eBay when you can get them for $209 plus tax?
Well, that is ridiculous.
Like right now, you can go and order it right now.
People
from Amazon.
Man. It's just
$295. Like these, if they get them. But here, look at this.
Excuse me.
Can you? I don't know if y'all can read that.
From Italy? That's not a real thing,
right?
Like that's number one. That person's never getting their item. That's the short story here. Like anybody who's bought and or sold stuff on eBay, that is like the number one giveaway that this shit's not real.
I don't know, because if you look, they're German and French versions. Maybe it's a distributor over there, but what's
It does
not
throw me
real,
off because they have thousands of sales and like 99+%.
what's not real is free shipping, because they might try to ship it to you for free, but there's a little thing called customs,
Yeah.
right? And so it
Our
could cost you
Canadian
another
friends know too much about
$400 to
that.
get this from customs.
Mm.
And they might have been kind enough to open it for you before it comes
Yep.
across. So I am not a big fan of overseas shipping. It's just too many risks for something that's fairy dust. Like you said, they may not get it. What if they just don't get their orders overseas?
Yeah.
Then you don't get your French version of
A lot of
the
stuff
Final
gets
Fantasy
lost
collector
in the
box.
mail from here to Italy. Yeah.
So this just Infinity, and I'm excited, right? I'm excited about the product. I think that's been clear, which is rare for me to get super hyped about a Magic product as of late. But I'm buying, I'm cracking, I'm going to enjoy it with Sherry Vegas. It's a big IP that she enjoys. So I'm going to fully enjoy it. I plan on building a commander deck from one of the boxes.
They come pre-built. You don't even need to. Nah, I'm fucking with
No. I'm going to crack a box and build a commander deck for Commander Rage, just like what we're doing after the show here tonight. So if you are not currently a channel member and you want to watch Pack crack a box of Magic cards, Kaladesh. Sorry, I had to think about it slowly. Consider becoming a member for 99 cents a month. But don't FOMO out over this. We're 4 months away. Nobody, like, I wish I could pull up your short, Pat. Nobody knows shit.
Nobody knows shit.
They don't know. Like the LGSs don't know their allocations.
Yeah, right. They have no idea the quantity of
So I don't know how the deal with Amazon works, since it's like a direct storefront for WotC. Yeah. But I'm sure they give them a certain number, a threshold, and stop after that. So I think they probably fulfill their promises. I don't know how they do that with like collector boxes, but they probably monitor it very tightly and then shortchange whatever other distributor X. Sorry, you're not getting your full allocation because Amazon beat you to it.
Right, because we're giving more to the big box. They
want to keep that relationship good with Amazon. If we have time, I want to get into the fourth quarter results. And I guess, we can get into at this point. I don't know. Do you want to talk more about Final Fantasy? I think that's about all there is to say for now. And my advice is chill, people. It literally chill. Don't lose your shit that, oh my God, I'm going to miss out. You know what? If I miss out, so be it. I tried.
Yeah.
I'm still going to try with other avenues over time, but I'm not going to get upset about it. I'm not going to go.
I gotta say, for me, it's similar to like the Lord of the Rings release, where I wasn't super into Lord of the Rings. I mean, I saw the movies. That was pretty much about it. I read most of the books. They get kind of slow towards the end, but I think I was probably more into that than I am into the Final Fantasy set. But now that I'm a bit more aware about MTG finances and ways to purchase and interact with a product line, I'm definitely interested in this for sure. But much like you said, if I don't get any of it, it's kind of whatever to me. I got plenty of other things I can spend my money on.
Well, and a lot of people that are spending their money, let's be real, because I was thinking about this thought, coming down the stairs here to set up tonight. How many products do you buy that are luxury items that you don't bat an eyelash about dropping $400 on?
Not many. Few. There are a few items that I none. I don't think there's a single thing in my life that I've spent $400 on without definitely mulling over a lot.
And yet people are buying these up voraciously at 400, 700, 800, 1200, 2200.
Speculation. I mean, some people might even be doing it on the margin. Hey, I got 0% interest for 6 months. I'm going to turn this around, double my money. Yeah.
That's where that's why I rail so much, because that's where people get into deep shit.
Oh yeah, ruin their life over this stuff. Options too.
It's bad. How many? And I was going to ask, how many people have 400, 800, 1200, 6,000 set aside in cash
Right.
to make these purchases.
It's guaranteed W. Yeah, get out of here, Ed. Get out of here.
I agree with you, Ed, actually, and I'm sorry, Coach, and I think that Final Fantasy is going to be a smashing success, baby.
Yeah, I think that's an easy win on this one, as long as you are getting in at a reasonable price. If you're spending $64.95 on eBay to buy a starter kit, then you're a fucking idiot and you're a huge loss. You know, like that's not going to be a W of a set. If you're paying $750 for a collector box, hopefully getting it from Italy, it's probably not going to be a W.
Dude.
But if you're able to, you know, get in at a reasonable price,
the level of stupidity there,
Metro was on it,
is just absurd, right? So on to the next item, and to point out what Coach said there, Tarkir was also just spoiled, I think yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Ooh.
At Comic-Con, and I agree with you, Ed. I'm not interested in $750 pre-release, after release. I don't care if it's $1,500. I'm not buying it at $750.
Well, right? Listen, Jenna, I need to lay low for a few days.
It's interesting. The ads never come through.
It almost feels wrong. The Hyundai.
Well,
you know how much work it was for us to be able to get audio to come through when we share video like this?
Yeah,
I hope you guys are really enjoying the new progressive ads.
It was muted on my side. So that was weird. So for Tarkir,
straight from
you're living under a rock. The big spoiler is a Mox.
Another Mox.
Like this to me,
we're gonna get one for every type now. Because I really hope, okay, let's be honest. There is no, wait, Lorwyn. Lorwyn is where all the elves and shit are from. They're going to be doing a Lorwyn set.
They're not going to do it with elves. There are too many.
Come on, Bob. Come on, Bob. Come on. What are they going to do? A goblin? What other tribes need it? It's not like dragons really needed the help, right?
I don't play dragons because they're battle cruisers.
Yeah,
this has got to fall in line with me with the Mox Tantalite. Like to have a dragon down there, and then people are like, "Oh, they're one casting cost dragons or changelings." So you're going to add changelings to your deck that nobody plays. Let's be real, nobody plays changelings. They're just generally kind of vanilla, not very good. Just so you can activate a Mox Jasper. You're going to play the crappy one-drop dragons just to activate a Mox Jasper. Because let's be real. After turn, like what? You're muted, Pat. After turn 3, I don't think Moxes are that great, right? Those are like turn 1 explosive plays. Is it me that's muted or you, buddy? I still don't hear you. So I don't know if y'all...
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, like you were saying, I don't think that in a dragon deck, this is actually going to be all that effective. Yeah, it comes in for 0. And I think that that's actually where the play is going to be, is in other decks that just want to play artifacts for nothing. Or in the very fringe case of an artifact deck, a changeling deck, because realistically, unless you're running Maskwood Nexus or it's an actual dragon deck, I don't see this really having much of a home.
Yeah, it's super fringe. It's like even more fringe. That's the reason I didn't like Mox Amber was because of the legendary, but there are tons of one-drop legendaries that are pretty decent, right?
Yeah.
Almost every color you can find a legendary that you would want to play. But not only do you have to have the Mox Jasper in your hand, but now you also have to have the activator, the one-drop, whatever the hell, in your deck to activate it. Otherwise, it's just a 0-cost artifact that's sitting there looking dumb. I don't understand why this is such a chase card. Simply because it has the word Mox in it.
It's got the word Mox. It's got that cool frame and it says Mox.
And the artwork's dope. I like the artwork on it. I think it looks really good.
Okay, Bob. Gentleman's bet. I bet you $5 MTG Moxman has already pre-ordered 10.
I'm not taking that bet because I don't know. I think it's 50-50. But
and other things that have been spoiled. It looks like just next to it, we've got Taval, the balance scale, 1 black, green, and blue for a 4/4 Spirit Dragon with flying. When it attacks, mill 3, then you can return a land from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, just cards, create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. I gotta say, that's actually not too bad. Low to the ground, too.
I really don't want to get into reading all these because there's quite a few of them.
Number of them, yeah.
And I'll just hit some highlights here because there is other content I want to get to before we bounce, which we're supposed to bounce in about 5 minutes, and I'm not going to get to cover the fourth quarter results, so we'll have to hit that maybe next week.
I'm cool going.
I want to get into that. Spoiler alert: it's not so great for Hasbro or Magic the Gathering. This is like a shittier Siege Rhino. Each of the color pies gets their new dragon. And
another Narset. Isn't that great?
The commander decks have dual commanders, right? So you could run either one of these intentionally as the commander, and they say the deck works. Like, okay, cool. This one, it's a storm dragon. Meaning it storms, but I don't care.
I like the idea. It's just that for 6, that's going to be hard to pull off. Like you're going to have to be playing a lot. What else
of mana to make it effective, and then by like what turn would you have that kind of mana to make the storm for this any good? Like if it was flash, maybe, and you're holding up mana, but even at that, just not a fan. Certainly not a standard playable card. And they did a lot of nod to old stuff. Sarkhan is actually pretty interesting to me. Has a new mechanic. The Behold mechanic.
Behold the dragon. Just like saying it.
You either reveal it from your hand or choose one that you have in play, right? To behold, right? So when Sarkhan enters play, you may behold a dragon. If you do, create a treasure token. So all it does is give you 1 treasure token, but you just reveal a dragon from your hand. I like the Behold mechanic. I think that's interesting design play space. I don't think it's a shitty mechanic like Morph. So I think it's a solid mechanic that they're introducing with this. And he becomes a dragon. So you can play him with your Mox Jasper Behold if you have a dragon in your hand at 2 mana and drop him on turn 1 with like it's such a fringe case to make Mox Jasper really good that it's like, okay, cool. And that's only if they don't kill him because he has no protection. It's like, okay, any black kill spell, like any, white exile artifact, Swords to Plowshare, anything. I can't imagine that if he's going to activate some combo that he'll live longer than a couple of seconds.
Right.
So there's your Narset, but I think he's interesting. I like it. I don't think he's, the bomb diggity, but he's interesting, right? Yeah, cuz Mox. I just, like, when I saw it, I got excited for about half a second when I said, ooh, Mox Jasper, and then I read it, and if you control it, dragon.
Yeah. It's that last line of text that really gets you.
Wow, that was a big, was it the Price is Right? Womp womp womp. It was like, oh, okay, that was really like and the more I think about it, like the less excited I am about it. And they said, like, at ChicagoCon specifically, they're telling you to chase this. This is the chase card of the set. They made all these super duper, and there you can find them out there. We don't have them on here. I'm not going to look them up. Crazy versions of this.
Oh yeah.
No, just no. I'm not interested. I'm more interested in speculating on more jeweled lotuses, or more, more mana crypts, or even dockside. than this. I think this
They're
is going to
bring
be
back Hole Breacher, like for sure. I mean, it wasn't on Game Changer.
we
Commander
didn't
Legends for 500.
we didn't cover the big meme Cactar, the 10,000 one, but to me it was so reminiscent. As soon as I saw it, and people were super hyped. You remember in Streets of New Capenna, I don't know if you muted again. Another big dumb. You're muted. Another big dumb. You were. You're not anymore.
Okay.
But the big dumb green card. Do you remember what it was in New Capenna that was so super hyped at release and was like $30, and then release hit and
it's a fucking nothing. Yeah.
you remember what it was?
No.
It was
I'm
also
terrible with
big
that.
dumb and green, but not a creature.
Nah, I'm terrible with that.
Bootlegger stash.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So I think that's what that big Cactar is going to turn into. And quite frankly, I think you're going to see much the same here with the price curve on Mox Jasper. Please, for the love of God, do not pre-order these, folks.
Yes.
They're telling you it's a premium. People are going to put a premium price on it. It's the card. It's the it card. And I think as time moves forward, people are going to go, it's useless.
Right. Yeah.
It's going to, even in a dragon deck, if you happen to get it in your opening hand, then you happen to have the activator for it within a reasonable.
I think the excitement for the new Mox is definitely all there is to it. The actual card itself is not nearly as good as.
Dude, there are so many other mana rocks I'd rather put in a deck than this that don't have the restriction of having to have a flipping dragon on the table. Right.
I'd rather.
What if they kill all your dragons?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Big and dumb.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Just too restrictive.
Gets useless fast. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's about it. Because didn't we say we're going to cut these a little bit short? I do like the artwork, though. I don't know if you can put me back up real quick. Like some of the artwork, I'll say this, and I am curious to see what flavor of Ugin they put out. Ugin is usually busted and stupid, and so hopefully they break.
They'd rather put a real rock in their commander deck than that Mox.
Just sleeve up a rock and throw it in there.
Right, just a small amount of sand. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just not about. So that's my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. Not financial advice here, folks. But I do like the artwork for Tarkir. That's one of the things I stated, and I'll stand by it. I do think this is pretty sweet artwork, and most of the artwork that they showed on all the different flavors. Go back and watch the reveal from Chicago Con. You can get all the gory details. We're not going to cover it because it's already been covered. Quick, do you guys want me to give you like the 30-second version of the Q4 results in case you're not here next week?
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with going till 8 on this and then just slow it.
I mean, do you have that link I shared with you? I'll just hit the super highlights. We'll go over it like really, really, really fast. Do I have? Oh, I think I might. No, I don't. Shit. Sorry. We're so good at this YouTube stuff. We're all prepared and, good, and
I got
things look great.
Exhibit 99.1.
Ooh, you're kind of off screen there. So I don't want to go through the words here. I just want to get to the graphs. If you could like shrink that down. There we go. What I want to get to is, oh boy, I'm gonna have to do it because that is way too tiny for my blind ass. Yeah. Here, I'll pull it up. I'll share.
So lead in, Hasbro just had their financial release, and they do this quarterly. So there was, as you could see, quite a number of pages for investors and also to the public as well. And Bob, the diligent financier he is, was able to go through and parse out some stuff that, even though I understand English, I didn't understand most of this shit. There were definitely some minus numbers and some plus numbers. I understand that stuff.
Oh,
there was some
more
intricate things.
So that didn't go as well as I had hoped. It didn't click on the link and go to the link when I shared that screen. So now I have to share a different screen. Why is it not? Oh, there we go. Exhibit A. How do I get rid of this stupid pane? Does anybody know? I want to do that. There we go.
There you go.
Wow, that's really tiny.
Yep.
I don't know how to make it any
It
bigger.
is what it is, Bob. Don't worry.
So I can't even read it myself. I have to bring it over here on a different screen to put it in front of my blind eyeballs. So these are the fourth quarter results. Now, the fourth quarter results are different than the other quarters because the fourth quarter, good Lord, I did it before. Why is it not doing it now? I can't get rid of that stupid extra pane on the side. Maybe if I do this. Nope. Why does it have to do this, Pat? And I have no other source for this. Well, God damn it. All right. So I'm going to just go over it, whether y'all can see it or not. Really upsetting me. So, in short, they're doing poorly. They're doing poorly as a company. They're down 17% overall as a company. Without the sell-off of the E1 divestiture, that was the entertainment division that they sold off, they would only be down 7%. Which,
right? Yeah.
That's not great.
Now, did I read correctly when I was parsing through there? Magic's down only 1%.
It's down only 1%. Magic
only 1%.
hasn't been down quarter over quarter for like years.
Yeah, but when you set the highs like Lord of the Rings had brought us recently, it's difficult to stay soaring in those clouds.
But it's not just down for the quarter. They're down over the entire year, and they were selling Lord of the Rings. So, what's a bigger issue, and I don't know if y'all can see this on the screen or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Big I have to make it, giggity.
Oh, don't worry about it, man.
Up here, they talk about the assets
do math.
and breaking down the assets to what they have. Their company's worth $6.3 billion. That's their total worth. That's total assets. And they break that down. What's concerning to me, and I pointed this out in previous quarterly reports, and it looks like it's getting worse. I think they were worth $9 billion. Now they're worth $6 billion. But 2.2 billion, 2.278 billion. Let's not discount the 7.8. That's 78 million. Is goodwill, which is fairy dust. It's fugazi. Goodwill, it means that, it's intangible. It's because Magic itself is an IP that's worth a lot of money. Monopoly is worth a lot of money, just the IP.
Right.
And so that's what they're assigning the net worth of their IPs themselves. Other intangible assets, meaning things you can't touch, another 500 million. So of their 6 billion, 2.8 billion is in intangible stuff. That's not good, folks. That's not a thing they can sell off, right?
Yeah.
It's worth it because they say so. And what if people just lose favor of Peppa Pig or Dora the Explorer or insert IPs that have just lost favor before in the history of the world?
I would say that they're definitely putting some real money in the diverging assets as far as like getting it to turn into a different type of media. I think that is they're making a big bet on that. I look forward to my Netflix subscription not running out so I can see what kind of atrocity they make.
So they were also proudly proclaiming that they paid like so many million, 55, 80 million, doesn't matter, towards their debt, which their long-term debt actually went up by almost $500 million.
Oh, geez. That's not great.
$500 million more debt this year than last year. Even though they've trimmed things down, right? They have cut costs in a lot of places. But this is the thing that scared me the most looking at it as a company. And I know you can't see it, but net revenues over here, this is net revenues for last year, $4.1 billion as a company. The year before, $5 billion. So almost over $850 million less, nearly $1 billion less revenues, less money coming in. Forget about their debts, forget about their divestitures.
Yeah.
That's less revenue, right? Even if they've saved money on costs and impairment of goodwill and all this other garbage that you'll see in here, that number alone, that is bad, folks. That is very bad.
You're telling me, Bob, it's difficult to be a toy manufacturing company during an economic downturn?
You know, when you look through these numbers, and I'm not going to go through all the nitty-gritty details, they talk about, oh, we're up on our cash from 545 million to 695 million, but you had almost $1 billion less in sales coming in.
Yeah, but the stockholders got a 7-cent dividend.
Yeah.
It's people having a fine dinner on a sinking ship.
Yeah, I mean, I can go through, bit by bit, but this is just a 3-month, just over the same 3 months, year over year. Last year, the 3 month was 258 million versus 208 million this year, which is actually Hasbro total gaming. So of all their games, it was down another 20 million. So a lot of these numbers just don't look good for the company. Now, what is up on the positive side, their digital licensing and gaming is up about 40 million. But the tabletop gaming is down about 60 million. So
yeah, people did not really take to the new D&D rule sets. A lot of people are just sticking with like the 2014, 2015, 5e stuff. So
franchise brands are down about 100 million. Partner brands are down about 100 million. Portfolio brands are down about 100 million. And then about another 500,
y'all. Yeah,
another 537 million they're writing off from not having the revenue from the non-Hasbro branded film and TV that I guess was part of E1 or whatever. This is the big news with the Magic being down for the first time over a year period in the last 5 years. So that's not good.
Well, a place where Magic is up is going to be on our members only live stream we've got going up in just a couple of minutes. Following this episode here, I'm going to be cracking open a box of Kaldheim so that I'm going to be able to supplement for a Commander Raids deck.
Amen.
Looking forward to this one. So
let's get into something more positive, cracking cards and having fun. But yeah, I just wanted to cover it real quick because I feel like a lot of people tend to ignore. What's that?
I appreciate it. I really do.
A lot of people tend to ignore the financial aspect of it because here's where the impact comes in, folks. That's what drives the decisions that increase the prices of the boxes, right? That's what increases the prices all over the place. That's what cuts the bodies. Don't forget, last year they cut, 15% of their workforce?
Yeah, I believe
there's going to be more cuts coming in. Yeah. So this is even with a much smaller workforce. And what they're saying is they're more profitable with what they have. But that translates to is a high margin product like Magic. They tell you it's a high margin, meaning they're milking you guys for buying this stuff. They don't have to charge the increased prices, but they're doing it because they can.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this is only an indicator to me,
charging those prices because they can.
To me, it's an indicator that we're going to see more price increases coming over the next year. They have to offset the losses. They have to appease the stockholders. Love you too, Sherry Vegas. So what does that mean? Expect prices to continue to climb. Yep. That's what that means in short. Sorry. That's what I see. I could be wrong. Like Pat said, we don't know shit.
And unlike Wizards of the Coast, we're keeping our prices low, 99 cents. It's literally the lowest that we could set it at.
All right, so we squeeze it all in. Thank you, everybody, for showing up out there. We appreciate you. Absolutely. We appreciate your time, whether you're a member or not. Just the members, we show a little more appreciation, and that's what we're about to get to, and crack some packs, pack some cracks, and do some fun stuff. And I'm not dancing on our way out. I am not.
I am.
I'm not. No.
Bye, y'all.